Oh, I didn't look. Did you look? I didn't
Got
look.
him.
Oh man, all three of you guys got to hit me now on the
Now I get to punch Darin.
virtually, just virtually though, not in person.
You
In
get
the
in my-
future.
You get it in 4K in my iPhone webcam.
Well, I was gonna say in the future we can all be wearing these suits that we can feel everything, and so you could virtually do it through the. Yeah.
Oh, some
Okay.
Ready Player One stuff.
It's probably done by Elon Musk. Elon Musk
They
feel
dropped that
everything
at
suit.
yesterday.
No, so you can just get the chip and then virtually feel it.
Mhm.
We'll call it 4D, right? Is it 4D when you put the suit on? You can have the feeling.
Well, there's only
watch
2 Ds here, so there you go.
But there's a lot of D's at the company. All right, let's go. Whoa, that didn't sound right either. Hey, girls. No, I'm just kidding.
Welcome back, everyone.
Good start to the year.
You missed us. We're back.
Yes, that is true, though, Daniel. I must say that. Welcome back. This is After the Bell 2025 edition, and hope everyone had a good holiday and is ready to get back in it and to learn some stuff about stocks and useless stuff that sometimes we bring up every now and then, and maybe be entertained. Never. We got to have fun, though. I'm Darin with Arbitrage Trade, and this is After the Bell. This is after Wednesday, the first Wednesday that we have done this. We did skip 2 weeks, though. Everybody enjoy their vacation? That's right. My guests are Daniel Hopwood, ex-institutional wealth manager. Top right, we got Josh Morgan down in the bottom left, otherwise known as JPM. And we've got our master quant. The one I can't see. He's moving too much. I got to move the cameras. That's right. Our boxer quant, Royce Wells. I am the ape in the house, and we actually have two apes. I mean, we've got an honorary ape in Josh, and I will claim him now that he has helped us in the contest. That'll come later. But let's jump right in. We're going to just talk about markets again. I mean, we ended last year talking about markets and Trump and all that good stuff. So we're going to talk about markets starting off the year, what we've seen at the beginning of the year till now, which has really been kind of a yawner, a nothing burger. Kind of, it looks like we're waiting.
About things have been all over the place.
Yeah, but it's like it keeps coming back to where it is now. Like this last week, it's just been flat, and the volume's been flat. And if you look at your Fred reports, which I encourage everyone to do, like I do every week, because you get the real truth in that, you'll see that the volumes are down. And it's just flat, and it's like everybody has spent all their money, and everything is way overvalued. Blah blah blah. I'm waiting for Royce to perk up on that one, and I know. And it's just waiting on something to happen. It's waiting on the swan to fly, and it still has not. It is still out there lurking. Out there lurking. I think it's lurking in Europe. So anyway, let's go ahead. What's going on there, Daniel? Tell me what you think about the markets. You're the one that wrote our agenda as usual.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in Darin's camp. You know, when you really look at it, things do keep returning to baseline. I know, right? Like, I was really hoping I could have started. I know I wish I could have started this with "We are so back, baby," but Bitcoin dips. So I don't know. It's back to where it was after it had that little rocket. So, you know, the good news is that statistically speaking, when stocks are down the first day of the year, they end up 12 months later. And anytime they're up, they end down. And guess what? The first day of the year, stocks traded down. So, boys, we might be back. We'll determine that in 11 months.
He returned to his character there at the
of course. But still the top 37% of the market is made up of 10 stocks. So, you know, nothing's really changed.
Yep.
That's good though.
So at least now it's 10, not 7. So I guess we're making progress.
So Batman hasn't taken over yet.
Yeah, there's a few things where like Google technically holds 2 positions because, you know, Class A and Class B shares.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Okay, Royce, what's your take on how it started?
It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's teetering. It's basically getting a little bit heavy. It's trying to lure people in. There's tons of volatility. Matter of fact, I'm going to try not to talk about the pick, but I can't help but talk about the pick.
UBT?
Over the last 3 weeks, there was $100 swing.
Tesla. Tesla,
there was $100 swing, right? And the AI field, the MicroStrategy also, basically, it's moved $50 to $60 in the last 2 days. Like, there's crazy volatility in the AI sector right now, and not all good. Even the Bitcoin and stuff, basically, it's up to 103, back down to 92. It's all over the place. So things are very volatile right now. Y'all are saying flat, and I'm saying, are we watching the same stuff?
No, it does that, but then it comes right back to the middle again. I mean, just looking at a lot of stocks, that I look at every week. It's doing that thing. It's like way up here, way down here, back to the middle. Way up here, way down here, back to the middle. And that's like you've always said, hey, that's a good way to make money, though.
That's a good way. Play the middle.
It's the best way, really. I mean, a lot of volatility is to make the money on the way up, make the money on the way down, and then make it on the way back up again. So 3 times. That's good. Yep. That's good. Banker, what you got?
I got one word: foreshadowing.
Yes. Yes. I think we are in the
foreshadowing
shadow.
2 words?
No,
it's 1.
Is it 1 word?
Yeah. So now he's going to go look. He doesn't believe
it.
Like he doesn't believe us. Look at that. I see.
I'm just trying to think of how
they took out fact checking. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's.
No, I was just trying to see how you spell it. Damn. I'm happy to be wrong. I just want to know how I'm wrong.
He's happy to be wrong. Do you believe that? I don't know. Is anybody happy to be wrong? I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what
this
you're
is how
saying.
they use the word in Google. It foreshadowed my preoccupation with jazz.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Speaking
jazz
of
hands foreshadow stuff? I don't know. You almost made me do that voice. I'm not doing it though.
I wonder about all of you.
All right, Daniel. Daniel, you said we're still no. We had too much to drink on New Year's. And it's still in effect right now. So you said, Daniel, that the key categories right now are financials, utilities, and AI, right?
Yep, that's what a lot of the different banks are saying. Those are kind of going to be the trades of these years.
So if I happen to look through Fred and see a lot of issues with the banking system, you wouldn't believe me, which is financials, right?
I did not pick those 3 stocks. Those weren't my picks.
Okay. All right.
I do have my own.
Not reflect future.
I do have my own predictions for the year, which I would love to hear everyone's predictions. But
I get it. That's true. I'm just saying that if I may have looked at. I guess if the Fed's going to keep rescuing these banks, then you're right. It'll continue to go well for them. I don't know. I just think there's something's going to pop in there because there's too many credit issues right now and defaulting and now it's within countries that we basically put all our trash over in Europe and out away from the US to hide it away in things. And eventually that's going to come to roost because, I think Europe's going to have a problem here pretty soon.
Well,
and
maybe Denmark will have to sell us Greenland then to cover their debt.
Oh wow! See, now you're getting. I do want to talk a little bit about that, but yeah, it's some crazy stuff.
Canada first,
and the Gulf of America. That's
all. We're back, baby.
That's in my 3 things tomorrow. It's Gulf of America. Josh, what do you think, man? What do you think are going to be the hot categories this year?
I'm watching a few sectors. One of them, kind of I guess I haven't heard a lot of noise about it, is like nuclear energy. It's kind of one you think about powering all of these various AI data centers and like the need, like how much energy all of these, like the quantum computing and the AI, how much that's going to take up. Traditional energy sources aren't able to keep up. So now we're seeing a lot of, even like Sam Altman's got his own little backed,
of course he
does.
It's
called like a small factor nuclear or something. And he's rolling all of this out. And I think that's going to be a hot sector. But the funny thing is, like what Daniel said, what Daniel said in his prediction, I kind of wrote my own out and then went back and looked at his notes and realized that we had basically the same thing predicted. Like I'm seeing volatility all over the place, 10 to 15% swings, but all in all, we're probably only going to rise like, I think you said 10%. I'm looking at like 5% because the top is so top heavy. It has to cool off. The bottom has to catch up.
Well, it's bond yields right now is what they're saying. They're blaming it on the bond yields, and it's going to affect all of the earnings releases, etc. But we'll have to see. Do you not think that category is more of a 26, 27 thing, or you think it'll be like what typically the market does, which is they pump it up early, and then it actually takes effect a year later, and then they pump it up again.
You got to look at like AI adjacent things. Like everybody,
Exactly.
like AI is so. I want to say overvalued, but we have no really way to quantify how valuable they actually are. It's all speculation and growth, and there's no like I can't look at like PE or forward earnings or anything like that. It's all just we're just kind of guessing at what these actually are going to be able to, and we still don't have like use case evidence of how these things are actually bringing in money. And so it's all very speculative. We don't really know. But if you look at all of the things that AI is going to require, namely like the one I was mentioned is some of the energy stocks, and then like the materials that it takes, like the lithium, and there's something else. We just opened up like a mine in Utah, I believe, after China came up with their sanctions. So I mean, there's a lot of things that
Idaho, I think it's in Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. Yeah, you may be right. But you just got to have to look at the things that are surrounding AI, not just AI, because that, to me, I think that ship's kind of already sailed. We're going to see a pretty decent pullback on those.
Actually, that Idaho was for the what's that they use for ammunition?
That's the word. That's what I was. That's the word I can't remember.
Yes, antimony. And
yes, there you go.
Thank you. Woo. See, I'm not too old. I'm not senile yet. And then it was also used for solar panels. So there was somebody.
Attorney, Darin. Durable power attorney.
That's right. All right, you spoke up, Royce. Your turn on what you think this year's sectors are going to be the hot
or
ones.
general market predictions. Yes.
All right, ready? This is crazy. Ready? Real estate with a bullet.
It's going to come back finally.
It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce hard. Josh is like,
commercial or residential?
Is that from the shorts? All the shorts that are in it, they're gonna have to buy it back?
No. So basically, real estate was the first thing to start correcting when we started the correction. I want to say early September. So basically, it went all the way from 3,000 points to real estate investment trust. Went all the way down all the way up from 3,000 points all the way down to about 24, and now it's slowly picking itself back up. And basically, on I guess segueing into our crayons and stuff, I can show you guys. I'm expecting it to be able to rise in the near future, and basically we might come out a little bit ahead. Maybe people are actually going back to the office. Maybe, build with them kind of people are interested in buying again. They lowered it just enough to get people or get the economy moving in, and those $250,000 houses might be 175 right now, but hey, you gotta get the man back out there. So.
To that point, there is a lot of mandates that have been changed from. That's in tomorrow's, by the way, too. Is return to work. Amazon's done it. All these corporates are saying that you got to return to work. JP Morgan just did it. That's the one I talked about, I think, tomorrow. And they had a 3-day mandatory work week, and now it's going to be 5-day, which we all know means 7-day for JP Morgan. And So they keep saying that that's going to, sorry, the weather. They keep saying that is what's going to create this demand for commercial real estate. But as far as I know, they haven't sold those buildings that were half empty, and they're just going to refill the office spaces that they already own. And so I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But real estate coming back, that's I think it's being held up just like the rest of the economy by the rich people. So the wealthy is still keeping the real estate market at the top end looking good. but it's all the other stuff that is reminiscent now of 2008 again. There's a lot of stuff in there that's like 2008, and they're just waiting for it to pop underneath. Not the rich people; they're keeping it afloat, right? But it's the underneath part.
Oh,
All right. So that was
Where's your
my. I don't
tinfoil
really.
hat? You need one.
I think yeah, he's got this actually in the agenda this week, but I think energy, of course, whether necessary or not. I mean, gas is slowly moving up right now too. I mean,
Oh, I
oil.
saw that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I think energy is definitely going to be one of the sectors because it is so bad right now, and I already know there's early whispers, if you will, of the of biotech and medical and health, etc. That's going to be the two biggies, just so they can pull back up because they've been pushed way so far down. So that's my 2 cents worth. So let's move on to. I mean, we could do a whole thing on just this, but to Tesla. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't talk about Bitcoin though, by the way. So Daniel thinks it's going up to 150. But
I
in
think
the year lower.
it'll hit 150 at some point, but end the year lower.
Okay.
And
So
150
really,
is my base case. I think it could go 200, but not any higher.
Okay.
so
now I
quick.
gotta look.
These are quickies. Now, Josh, what's your thought on Bitcoin?
I think we could see almost 2, and especially when this new administration gets in, because I mean they're going to have to find a way to transfer all of that wealth somewhere, and Bitcoin's a great option.
Okay. While Royce is looking at the charts, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to hit 120-ish, and then down to 50/60, and then kind of end right back up where it is now. So what do you say, Royce? Nope.
Into the dungeon.
It's time to go ahead and just.
The weekly chart, literally as of today, put our red recycle sign on there, which means the weekly time frame just started a new sell trend. Daily
We're
is
talking about the whole
already
year,
good.
though.
Huh?
The whole year,
no,
though. Not
believe
just
me, I'm using an arbitrage band on a daily time frame, so this is good
Okay.
for at least a 6 to 9 month trajectory, and it's
Yeah.
it's at the very top of
It is.
of the thing. Let me see where the bottom, where its potential bottom is. Let me do a little projection here.
You can draw out the triangles, and it has busted through the latest triangle, and it's on the way down.
Yeah,
But it could bounce back. It's right on it has a support point. It might jump up though for a
Ooh.
second and then go back down. So we'll see. I follow people online that.
All right, so I'm predicting
out.
about a 63 bottom.
Okay, I said 55.
A 63 bottom, and if it actually does the opposite of that, 122 as the top.
I said 1, 2. Okay, we kind of agree. That's good.
But
Darin needs to make this his year-long bet.
No. What am I betting? I don't want to know.
Everything.
My new TV I just won.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a 78% chance that it can basically hold 88 and potentially get back to 104. But that's
I said it would end right back up where we are. So we'll have to. It will be fun to follow up on that and see where it goes. But I mean, we got 50 more weeks.
The toilet, like Z Pro is saying, nope, red. Weekly is saying, nope, red. Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go but down.
Right.
Watch them completely destroy Bitcoin, make no one want it. And then when it's, like, I don't know, 27,000 per coin, they'll say, hey, let's buy it again.
Yeah, I think in 2 weeks we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff.
And say BlackRock's in it. That asset's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. But they'll just make sure they get out first. All right. So we got Tesla now. All right. So introduce us to what you want to talk about there, Mr. Millennial.
All right. So my beloved Tesla stock, my many shares have had a rough week. Tesla had a decline this year for the amount of cars they've sold. First time ever. I was quite stunned by that. But they also had a record Q4. But that didn't help them because BYD, which is China's Tesla, which by the way stands for like Beyond Your Dreams, which is a weird name for a car company, sold almost just as many cars as Tesla did, and they don't even sell cars in America. And
a lot of Chinese.
Well, they're actually
And
quite big in
Europeans.
Europe. Yeah, they're
Yeah, exactly.
pretty big in Europe. So, the question is coming of, is Tesla still competitive in the market? Are EVs becoming a commodity? Or a lot of people are continuing to price Tesla as a, AI software company, and that they still view it as an undervalued company, minus the fact that they currently only sell cars and they haven't sold more than they did last time. And then,
Okay.
some guy just blew himself up in one. So the question is,
Actually,
That's not funny.
that was a benefit thing though, because the little damage it did because the truck was so tough. Is the
yeah,
narrative
apparently
that
it
came out of
did
that
keep
one.
a lot of the blast in the car, which is
Exactly
insane in and of itself.
So when we go to Civil War, we'll need cyber trucks. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, right? At my parents' place here in Florida, I see 3 Cybertrucks a day. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like a Blade Runner 2045 or whatever that movie was.
When you're trying to get rid of the bomb, find the Cybertruck.
Right. So I say all this of, is Tesla going to come back down to reality? Does it continue to ride its own unique Trump trade because of Elon? In my opinion is, because I'm very biased and I own a fair bit, comes back. But what are the opinion of the boys?
I'm going to add this before I ask these guys. It's not Tesla, it's Elon, and like you're kind of hinting to, and it's also SpaceX, and it's everything else that's associated with Elon, and people just invest in that, and it's his ear that is close to the president. Well, I'm just saying though, I think he's going to ride that presidential thing for the next year. It's going to be, I wouldn't bet against it for the next year at all.
I'm not
no matter what BYD does. So, and by the way, BYD was, this is back before I even worked for this company. I was very aware of BYD because I actually bought some stock in BYD. And so did Buffett. He was actually
really haven't moved at all. They're at the same price they were at in April,
and that's what was frustrating about it. But Buffett was actually he invested in it and then he got out. But when I was so big into, what was that company, Neo, I think, are they still around? That was a meme stock. But I was being counter to it and doing the BYD, and it got me a little bit. I didn't lose a whole lot. In fact, I think overall I made money off of that. But yeah, BYD has been around a long time. I was very aware of that. So when you brought it up, that was kind of neat to see. So anyway, let's go to Josh. We'll end up with Royce at the end, but your Tesla thoughts.
I mean, I don't have one clear direction on this one. Like I'm very much of two minds. Like it could go either way. I mean, you got to think there's a lot of things mounting against Tesla. Yes, their sales are down. They're having increased competition, especially I think they lost to like one of Volkswagen's over in Europe. They've also, their numbers in China have ticked up a little bit, which is kind of counter to what BYD is doing. Even though, BYD's numbers are still going up, but Tesla's numbers rose by like 8.8% or something like that. Then the flip side is you got the EV tax credit that's getting nixed in 2025. Exactly. And then, but then you go back to the other side, and I mean, Tesla, like Musk himself has the ear of the president and is going to be essentially, there's rumors of him being like the Speaker of the House or something like that. I mean, he's got all this kind of control and power. And so, yeah, if you look at, if you're betting against Elon, that's typically a losing battle. But if you're betting against like Tesla, that's kind of, that's the part that I struggle with is like Tesla's they're not really doing very well as far as their financials are concerned. Yeah, they had a great fourth quarter as far as the stock price is concerned, but their actual numbers don't reflect. I mean, we've talked about how overvalued NVIDIA is, and NVIDIA is like at 30 times revenue is what their value at, whereas Tesla sits at 140 times. Like that is the textbook definition of overvalued. Yeah. But man, in this market these days, fundamental investment seems to have been thrown out the window. So it's a crapshoot either way.
Yeah, I think they need to come out with a hybrid. I think that would help. And because I think there's been are you listening?
Staring
Are you
at
listening,
my-
Elon?
Can you hear
And yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you, Daniel. You're a little frozen, but you'll come back. I think. I hope. If not,
Can you
go
guys
out
hear
and
me?
come back in. I can
Well,
just hear you,
even-
but you're.
Froze him with Mariah Carey for the year. He's good.
That's right.
And Darin, even to your point, like with the hybrid, that makes a good bit of sense because he's now aligned himself with an administration that is
Exactly.
very much
Oil.
anti-EV.
Yes.
Like-
Because EVs are not selling that well. You've had all these companies on our end. The GMs, they had an increase, but it was an increase from crap to a little bit better crap. And as far as the numbers go, so it's just EVs are not the thing anymore. And maybe
And
there'll
Trump
be
hates clean energy. Like he's
Yeah.
nuking all of the windmills because he's convinced they don't work. And and then you throw in the electricity thing, and yeah, I think a hybrid actually would make some sense there.
Yes, thank you, Elon. Like I said, just give me a little bit of commission, just a little bit for that idea. Like I'm sure you haven't come up with it yet, but yeah, just hybrids and just, I mean, that trade is, I think, more Elon than it is Tesla right now. Go ahead, Royce. What you got after your drink? Tesla,
So
2025.
You guys are talking about two different companies here. You're talking about Tesla Motors, which it hasn't been Tesla Motors for quite some time, right? Now they're just Tesla, and they're going head to head with NVIDIA. They're doing chips. They're doing AI. Elon's opening a quantum computing facility here in Memphis, right? And then now you got Willow with Google. So basically, he's running neck and neck with Google for quantum computer and AI and chips. NVIDIA just released their new, I think, R5 chips, which is also basically competing directly. So AI is not dead. AI is far from dead. And let's reflect a little before we go too far, right? So while Tesla Motors, I do agree, Tesla Motors, if they basically left it as a motor company basically, yes, the stock would be down. But let's get real here. First quarter, second quarter, it was valued at 164. Its current price is 393. So yeah, okay, you've had a little bit of a pullback, but you're still up over 100%. It's not over, right? And let's reflect a little bit. Trump said, "Hey, let's define a space force. So forget the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Let's do a space force." And then you team up with Elon, who's like, you know what? I can put a rocket into space, reuse it, and land it on a 3x3 square or 5x10, whatever square in the middle of the ocean. Right? And as far as basically him needing a hybrid, I don't think that's even a question. I think, honestly, for them to get to space, they're going to want the fuel that the real fuel, the fossil fuels are creating, which means we're going to be left with EV solutions. So everything's going to be green, and all of that oil that we're using and all that oil that we're drilling, it's not going to be given to the consumer. It's going to be given to the space race. So Tesla did, no way in hell. SpaceX did, not even close. Elon, definitely, he's making moves to basically position himself that he is the first person that they call when they decide to go into the space race, whether it be on the EV side or on the technology that he's developing elsewhere, or even in the chip that he's trying to put into people's brains. The guy is covering all the bases.
But I don't forget about he wants to go to other planets, and who knows what kind of materials might be there too that he can mine and bring back and be caught by the robot arms. And that's why I'm saying it's not a Tesla thing. It's a Elon Musk thing, and he wants the. Don't forget about the Everything app too. I mean, he's working on having his own search. I mean,
he's trying to unseat Google. If I had to have an opinion,
he's wanting to do what they did in China already. They have that everything app where you can basically take care of every single thing. And now we have AI, which can go into your emails and schedule things for you and even answer your emails. You don't even have to do that. It answers it for you. That's kind of scary, by the way. But he's going to have that everything app, and he's working on it. And I know he'll wait till it comes to fruition. So it's just a matter of when, in my opinion. All right, I'm hearing Daniel coming back a little bit here. We'll see if he's
back from the grave.
Soon. Yeah, I'll have to get his picture in. Anyway, we just got through. I'm going to get to the next subject here real quick. Well, let's bring him in. All right. I feel like a game show host now. Let's bring Daniel in. All right.
He's back.
Live from Florida. All right. Now I heard somebody laughing in the background.
I was going to say that person thought Darin's joke was hilarious.
He was alone.
All right. All right. Yeah. Don't encourage me, please. So now, what is this tinfoil hat thing now that you came back? That you this Hindenburg research. So tell me what it is. What's this subject about, Daniel?
Okay, well, anything that's in the news, I think when Darin reads, there's always an underlying ulterior motive.
Always, it's always a narrative. Yes.
As our favorite meme stock ape, and when Hindenburg Research starts short selling Carvana because of malpractice of their financials, I got to know what's really going on here, Darin. Did they
I'll
really
tell you what's going
malpractice?
Yeah, I can tell you what's going on. It's an SEC that won't actually do their job and regulate. It's short and distort, which is what these guys live off of, and they've been doing it for ever since I started following the whole meme trade. They attack them and they twist and turn facts and figures in their quote research, and they've gotten in trouble for it before. You can look at disciplinary actions and see that they've gotten in trouble for the crap that they dish out onto your plate for dinner, and it's part of their plan. If they get slapped on the wrist, this is the whole game. If they get slapped on the wrist, they made billions or trillions over here, and they have to pay $1 million fine. That's basically what SEC is all about, or not about, I should say. Who knows what the new SEC guys can do? But wait a minute, less regulation now. Oh, great! So they'll get away with even more. But yes, Hindenburg Research was involved with AMC. They absolutely tore it up. They tore up anywhere they want to put a short in, which they put it in first, and then they talk about it afterwards. And of course, yeah. And it's called short and distort. If for those that are not familiar with that, not you guys, but anybody watching this, look up short and distort and just see if it's illegal or not. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and, spoil it. Yes, it's illegal. But proving it is so hard, especially when you don't even look into it. All right.
Kramer.
Yeah, another short and distort.
I'm sorry.
So Darin, is that financial advice? So should I buy this stock?
I think anything they do,
let Kramer talk about it.
Anything they do, follow the shorts down and then ride it back up. I guess that's kind of what they live off of. They know that they're going to be successful because they have unlimited counterfeit shares to play with when it goes to that point, and so they drive the stock all the way down, and then they bring it back up later. While they have the average way down at the bottom. All right, so that's it. I'll put my tinfoil back over here.
New year, same Darin.
Yes, but more energy now because you brought that name up. That name I had forgotten about. I wanted to forget about. I'm waiting for you to bring up what is it, Lightshed Partners, or whatever that dude's name is. Lightshed. I forget his name, but I mean we made fun of his butt a lot back then. This is memories here.
I just had to make sure Darin still had fire in his loins for this.
My eyes are getting cloudy because of the blood pressure. All right. Any quick comments about, because that's all this is. This segment was really just about me, evidently. But any comments from the banker, because he was an ape or is an ape, about shorting?
Oh, I mean, it's the thing is, there's a really simple loophole, and all you have to do is sprinkle in a little bit of truth to whatever it is that you're saying, then you go to court and you're like, well, yes, I may have exacerbated what the situation, or I may have, stretched the truth a little bit, but that doesn't mean it wasn't truth to begin with. And then yes, I disclosed that I had a, position against them, and I followed technically all of the SEC rules, even though, I have a large footprint of users that are sitting there following me and following my investment advice. And yeah, it is legal and illegal. It is,
I have no doubt,
grayest of gray areas.
Oh, it is. And I have no doubt that they quote pay other journalists to put out and help them out with that whole story.
And then you look at what Citron Research used to do it all.
Yes, there's one.
That's another big short and distort one.
Yes.
And yeah, no, I mean, but the thing is, I will say one thing. They typically don't go after like larger market caps like this, which makes this one slightly unusual. That they usually go to the ones that are smaller, that are easier to manipulate. I can't think of anything other than was that Nikola back in 2000, 2020 or whatever. That's the last time I can remember them really going after a big fish. But this time,
a semi with no engine,
right?
Whatever it was, rolling down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what the reason that they're supposed to be in place for, right? It's to capture anything that's corrupt. But that's not what they do. They go for, of course, like everybody else, which if you get away with it, then you either join the party or you don't. But Super Micro, I guarantee you they have a ton of shorts they've had in it for a while. And Carvana, I guarantee you they've had a ton of shorts. This is nothing new. They've had it for a while and they need to get them out. And that's why because it has risen. And their fear, I think, is that the car market's going to come back eventually. And especially with EVs now not being as a big a deal, and you're going back to the ICE, that market's going to come back. And then all those shorts that they have in Carvana are only going to get worse. So, I mean, they have to do something. Because you've also read about a lot of hedge funds who have lost a lot of money this past year with the stock that's gone way up because of their shorts. Anything quick there, Royce, before we?
Oh, quick? No. See, I got an entire arsenal.
No, next.
Let's go. So I find it funny that basically there's smart money, and which are the institution, and they call dumb money or retail or whatever you want to call people who's not the institution, right? In the U.S. stock market, you can play both up and down. They only teach you how to play up.
Right.
In your 401k even, they only teach you how to play up, which basically leaves shorting only for the institutions if you don't know how to do it. But if you know how to do it, there's nothing that prevents a regular retail investor from doing the exact same thing as an institution. You just have to have the clearance on your account to be able to do it.
Right. And then
that's for any individual. So markets go up and markets go down. And the reason why I think that they do it that way is for market makers, not for retail, not for the institution. This basically a market maker, all a market maker does is make a market. They find a buyer for a seller and a seller for a buyer. And when they're not enough of either side, the market maker steps in to make sure that the markets stay efficient, which means basically we always have a buyer for a seller and vice versa. So
always a share.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I just said there's always a share. Go ahead.
Well, no, there is always an opportunity or an option to buy a share. That's where the tinfoil meets the road, right?
There you go. Absolutely, yes.
Because as long as you have the option to share, but you don't exercise that option, you can do whatever you want, right? So for those people, I'm going to not go into covered calls or cash secure puts and all that. That's the way that they show you how to short the market without shorting the market. But if you can actually have the money and the collateral to short the shares, why not? Markets were made to go up, but it can't always go up or straight up. And the reason being, you can't pay everyone involved. It's a giant auction. So the market makers are just saying, okay, this short, We've had people buy all year. In order for those people to take profit, there has to be some money, a pool of money for it to come from. So it's not a matter of, okay, we want to sell. You have to have someone willing to buy it if you're trying to sell it. So they keep lowering the price until they find buyers. And that's where the short squeezes come from. And that's where everything else comes from. If you say, okay, we know that probability says it's not going to go any higher. So that's when the machines that 75% of the market is made up of, that's doing all the trading, go, okay, we're ready to sell. Find the suckers that are ready to buy up here and take their money. It's not hard. It's not even grandioso, but it's just the mechanics of the beast.
Beast is a good word. Let's go on to bond yields. Start us off there, Daniel, about these crazy, looks like every day they're gaining bond yields, and Janet Yellen. No, I'm just kidding. We'll just talk about bond yields.
So the 30-year has hit its highest level in a year, which makes no sense considering we have cut rates. And, rate cuts don't appear to be on the table with, inflation not being strong, but not coming to where they want it. Oddly enough, job openings were pretty strong in the last report. And there's an anticipation of stronger inflation with the potential Trump tariffs. And, because everyone kind of stopped talking about it, and now is actually the time to start being more concerned about it, is that the 10 and 2-year yield curve reverted back in August. And typically following the reversion of the yield curve, 6 to 18 months later follows a recession. And by typically, I believe statistically every single time, except for
it is
once.
every time. Yeah, every time.
So I think there was one time where it touched and it didn't, but then it was like it touched again and then there was a recession later. But so that's all to say is that, if other things we didn't talk about wasn't a canary in the coal mine, this has got to be one of them, right?
Yeah.
And this could be one of those. I don't want to say it's a white swan, because it's not like the yield curve directly causes a recession, but it's like one of the indicators that's almost foolproof, and everyone's kind of forgotten about it right when they should actually be thinking about it.
Yeah, like again, go to Fred Reports and play with them, and you will see and compare, and you'll see that these all line up with historically bad times. What's going on right now with the yield reversion back? It's I think it was .com. It was 2008, and it was the Depression. I think those are 3 times that happened. I'd have to go back and look because I mix up my charts because I look at too many when on the Freds. Okay, yields. Okay, Royce, yields.
I like
yields
them.
Going up. Okay, you do like them.
Natural progression, and they
Is
have
this
to do
a
it.
foreign exchange effect, or is it just going to be a
once again,
stock market?
remember-
People jumping out of the stock market
bonds.
into the okay.
Right. So just another little economic lesson. The bonds, treasury bonds, are all based on the U.S. dollar. Have you seen what's been going on with the index for the dollar?
109
stronger, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I think the dollar index DXY hit 110 today. So basically, as the dollar just gets stronger, people are like, you know what? It's safe to be in bonds. Let's go do that. Dollar's getting stronger. Country's getting stronger. Let's invest on a sure thing. It's nothing sexy. It's nothing fast paced, but it's a sure thing. So yeah, let the bonds go up as the dollar goes up. What's going to happen after the inauguration? Who knows? Because once again, when markets correct, the dollar gets stronger. Every single time the market has crashed, the dollar has gone through the roof because everyone flees to cash. And when you flee to cash, that makes the country stronger. And guess what? It makes America great again. There you go.
Thank you. Where's your red hat?
Plug.
Where's your red hat? Where's your red hat?
Do you think Trump walks into a recession? Obviously, I don't think it would literally happen. What is it, January 20th? But do you think he is walking into a recession, a stale market kind of situation?
Remember when they first were going to elect him, and I think in 2016, they're like, he's going to crash the market. Well, I think they've set the stage perfectly for the market to crash, but let's see what he can do to counteract that, to potentially make the dollar rise, get rid of some of the debt that we have, as well as prevent the market from crashing. So there's going to be a lot of maneuvering that has to be done. Let's see if the administration can pull it off.
The Fed reports also, if you go back and you pull up the dollar and it hits its high, what happens afterward is not pretty. Banker, we got to talk to you.
Flee back into their assets like oil, whatever, bonds. I mean, out of bonds, back into the market.
Back to you, since you're the banker.
No, I mean the steepening yield curve always signals an expectation of a weakening economy. So, but this time, I know you keep hearing that headline like this time's different. This time it's different. This time it's different. And I mean, honestly, on some levels it is, because fundamental investing and traditional investing has kind of gone by the wayside. But there are still some key factors that you need to pay attention to. And, the yield curve is kind of a big money indicator of an anticipation of weakening economy. And then you throw in all the things like the, expectations of inflation, some of the job market weakening and things like that. Like, yes, and that's why I said earlier in my market prediction, like I'm expecting volatility. Like we're going to have a surprising 10, 15% correction in some direction, or a 15% correction. And then it's going to go right back up because, they're going to spin the narrative again. And it's just we're kind of going to go back and forth all year long.
I'm just going to add here, and that's why I said yelling it first, is because she just said not too long ago that extraordinary measures are going to have to happen if with Congress right now doesn't do what's need to be done. And that date that she put was right there around the 20th of January. Imagine that. Everything.
And she says deuces and
exactly.
And
I'm
right.
out. I'm out. Let me pull my pants down and leave this plate of in your lap.
What?
See ya. Vacation time. Where she said she's going to do that. She's doing vacation, and then she's going to the Brooks something Institute, Brookings or whatever it is, where I guess people go to. Well, I won't say that word. To live out their days.
Nope, we're not canceled. Bye.
I was going to say, is that a retirement home or a
where they go to transition into wheelchairs? We'll say that. I don't know. All right. You got something for us in crayons right there.
Sure, I can do that. I can go.
All right. So it's time for crayons.
Enough.
Oh, is it Tesla? Okay, well, let's go on. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's see.
There it is.
Let's see where we are and why we are and what we say is next, right? So we are at a very pivotal point for Tesla because basically a lot of people are going, is it about to die? Has it died? Right. So I'm going to turn off 3D real quick, and basically a daily time frame is like, yeah, I'm on the daily time frame, but that giant arrow is not very comforting. So us sitting there is basically letting us know that basically we are in for a little bit of a bumpy ride, more volatility. I want to show you guys basically that the first dollar sign that appeared over here happened right, I think it's like the day after the election, and it rose all the way up to right here and basically stopped pulling back as it got there. So I mean, it got down to a low of about 379, and so far it's put itself back up to 392. The question is, where is it going from here? I'm going to keep zooming in to basically illustrate what we needed to do for a buy trend to continue on. The dashboard is saying 386 was the bottom that we needed to get there and hover at and stay at that level for about 2 or so weeks to get this light to go off. Well, we've been here for about 6 or 7 days. The question is, can it continue to hold this level for another 6 to 7 days to allow this light to go off to continue to allow us to be in a buy trend? What's preventing us from going up right now is that currently the Infinity Band and automation, Infinity Band and the Apocalypse Band are still sitting over 70%. Anytime you're over 70%, the Z Pro indicator is saying yeah, you're too hot, you're still too hot, you still have to cool off. So that's currently what's keeping us in a sideways channel currently, but will we be able to stay there? Who knows? I'm going to basically bring this guy down to about 5-minute chart and see what we see longer term, and I'm going to switch bands as well because I want to see the apocalypse band on this very small time frame to see how it's feeling about the current trend. Currently, basically, as you can see, it's just waiting. It's not doing much of anything, staying in this range, and we need to stay in this range. We don't need to get back over 399 for a bit, because if we do, that could throw us into another rising trend. And this guy, it's not too hot. Yes, it's a sell trend on the 5-minute chart, but it's manageable. We're going sideways. I'm going to keep expanding this time frame to basically say, okay, larger, and even larger, where are we? So from where we were, from where it was, where we had our highs, where we were at 479, 480, we hit our trend top. The red line is sitting at the very top of our infinity band over there. Well, guess what? We're coming to the end of that road where that red line has traveled, and it's done it slowly. It's done it just like I've expected it to do it. So I am expecting once we basically get back over that 400 milestone, we should be able to quickly get to 411. Probability should expand, but I want to make this very clear. I do think that we are going to go back to 381 before we see 400. So in doing so, that should allow probability to expand. Let me actually get my my crayons out. So I'm expecting it to do a ricochet action off the bottom, allowing probability from the green and the red to both expand and overall get us back on a trajectory straight up with this infinity band to potentially, let me see where it says the end is. Turn on my 3 deviations. And from there, yeah, back around 486, 487 with a potential top out at about 502. And since this is a 5-minute chart, guess what, guys? That can happen within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Isn't that convenient for an inauguration? That's all I got, guys. Back to you.
Gee, it almost looks planned. This was Crayons and Charts with Royce Wells as he walked through and used our tools here, part of our AI software, our algorithms. Only we have it. So if you're not already part of this and you're watching this, then you want to find out about it, arbitragetrade.com, and look for pips and trade assist. That's where you'll see that kind of stuff. That's the innards of what we do here and use. And that's not what the big guys have, the big brokers, anything else. That's ours.
Nope, they're using PE and all this outdated
that's
stuff.
That's right. They're a little behind. So there you go. So
value investing.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's go ahead and I know that Josh has places to go and people to do. We got the wager. Yeah,
I'm gonna make a phone call. I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly.
How much is it worth to you, Josh? How much?
All right. So anyway, I mean, he stayed. The only reason he stayed around, I thought I was going to see a blank screen here because he had to go. But the only reason he stayed around is because he won the wager that was the longest one we've had, which was Tesla, which you just showed. And it hit all the channels. It went way up and then way back down through everything while we were celebrating Christmas and New Year's, and all the way back down to below even his channel, which he gets everything below that. So good job. Good job for the 8. Let me pull the scoreboard up. That makes things pretty interesting. Josh and I together have 8. Daniel and Royce have 8. We have 4 weeks left. So if we're really going to have fun, then I think Daniel and I both need to win 2, and everybody will have 5.
No, I'm good.
No, that's
no. He
thinking,
said
sir.
no. He said no. See, I was trying to bring Daniel as an ape real quick.
Yeah, statistically unlikely, but
very.
I new year, new us, maybe. I don't.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, and the more we keep learning from the charts, explanations from Royce, we could be just as dangerous here. But we don't get the first pick, except we do this week. So Did you
People
have a
always
stock?
passing on, you know.
Did you have a stock? Please
Yeah,
don't do that.
I'm wavering
don't do
between
that.
two of them.
He's got another QUBT or something out there for us.
No. I'm going to go a little bit more stable this time, but at least a little bit of extra volatility. And since the weather is so nice outside, I was going to go Carnival Cruise Lines.
Oh,
Okay.
the cruise lines.
Mm-hmm.
CCL.
I've got a lot.
It'll feel like an Alaskan
Thoughts
trip out
on
there right
that? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Royce is going to pull up. Let me pull you up over here too. All
Just
right,
over
he's
the
pulling
past
up
few months,
Carnival.
it's really been on a tear.
Hey, look at that. Back and forth, but heading up.
I'm gonna bring us down to a little band because the big band shows too much. All right.
There's the
What
rise.
say you?
I knew about this. It's what say you, Royce?
Oh,
you have to give us the channels.
The channels are very small. There's about a $2 channel, so about 50 cents per person.
Ooh.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure that
Stuck where it is. Kind of
yeah.
stuck where it is for a bit. That's because
here. Let's do something different then.
Actually, it's about 23 to. Actually, we both get about $1, so 23 to about 27.
Pick your dollar wisely, boys.
Okay, so it's because the economy is about to crash. It's dollar days, so let's do dollar.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to stick with that then?
Sure.
For the sake of expediency too.
23 to 27.
23, 27. That seems pretty simple. And you get to go first there.
I'm going to stay right where it is. I'm going to go 24.
24 and up?
24 and below.
No, that'd be 24 to 23.
Let's go.
Or below. 24 and below.
No, let's go.
That'd be 23 to 24, 23 and below, 25, 26, 26, 27, and above.
Okay, 24 to 25.
All right.
Oh, okay.
You can see a near-term little bounce.
All right, who are you picking? Josh.
I mean, yeah. Now that we're getting into the end of the race, let's right. Right,
the
Darin,
team race. Oh, gee, thanks. All right. I'm definitely going below that because Carnival is at its top right now, and it has been for a little bit. I knew that before I even looked at the chart. So I'm definitely doing the below 24. So we got the whole bottom end covered again.
Excellent. So who's next?
Oh, Royce, you can go. Well, no, I'll let no. Yeah, I'm going to handicap you. You're going to go last.
That's better than kneecapping you.
I'm fighting dirty today.
All right, I'll go one above Josh.
Excellent. So guess what? I wanted the top channel.
We all chose wrong.
But there's
all
a reason.
Right, we're all set. We're all set. I'm glad we did not go with the suggested wager, which was, do we buy Greenland or not? And that I think will take some time.
No, I wanted a year-long wager of us.
The year-long.
Do we buy Greenland or not? By the end of the year,
add another one. And then you might also go ahead and add in, do we rename the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America? So you might also go ahead and add that. And then do we buy Panama Canal? Or do we send,
First of all,
do we have to send military?
We own Panama Canal. They just wrongfully gave it up. Another select group of people.
Definitely debatable.
We had to give it back. It wasn't ours to keep.
Well, we built it.
We built this city. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Hey guys, let's let Josh go where he needs to go. That's why his face is so red, because he's been trying to get out of here for a bit. I can tell. Or he got a lot of sun down there. No, it's kind of cold for that. All right. Or he hits a tanning bed. No. Okay. All right. It's good to see you guys again. Let's do this again next week. And again, and again.
27 and again. Baby. 27
Let's stop taking some weeks off. It's time to work. It's time to work. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Later, guys. Bye.